Hello everyone, hope you're having an amazing Monday and welcome to the Reality Bang. I'm Ajay Yohann, your host for this session, and thank you for tuning in. That's it if you guys want to contribute to our topics, have anything to say, or just want to tell us what an amazing job we're doing, you can reach out to us at 6364252164. Now let's jump right into it. For today, let's talk about body shaming. And of course, we have Ms. Nancy here with us. So, Miss Nancy has been a school counselor for more than a decade now, and she's been working with students from ages 11 to 16. It's great to have you on the show, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, let's jump right into it. Now, my very first question is now, how does a person how does body shaming impact a person? And especially when you're talking about their mental health and their overall well-being, how does it impact the person?
So it impacts first the self-esteem.
Okay.
So when one gets body shamed,
Hmm.
it's them having to face negative comments about their
Okay.
body size or their body shape.
Okay.
So when someone is passing hurtful comments, whether it
Hmm.
could be one-on-one or it could be on social media,
Hmm.
so their self-worth reduces.
Right.
They start doubting their self-worth, and
Hmm.
that also has an impact on their self-confidence.
Hmm.
So it can lead to anxiety for some of
Hmm.
them, or it could also lead to depression for
Right.
those who don't know how to handle such comments that end up,
Hmm.
shaming them.
Right, right.
And we also see that sometimes this happens maybe within the families or
Mhm.
in work setups or even when they're interacting on social media. So
Right.
sometimes some of them go through this constant body shaming,
Mhm.
which makes them isolate themselves also,
Right, right.
which will make them think twice before they have to interact in a social gathering, for
Mhm.
example. So mentally, they're definitely disturbed.
Right.
So it takes a while for them to come out of this kind of situation
Mhm.
and try to look at it positively. And
Right.
those who have to go through low self-esteem, it
Mhm.
takes a lot of self-realization.
Yeah.
Like they need to think positively about themselves to
Mhm.
help them come out of that negativity that is surrounding around
Right,
them.
right. Like even when I was a kid, like there were certain people in our class who used to like fat shame quite a bit of our students. And like the crazy part is it just started as a kid. Like we were kids like maybe sixth, seventh standard. And imagine this like a sixth, seventh standard kid has to hear like, okay, you're fat, you're this, you're that. And like the way they are handling it, like something we could never understand at that point of time. And I'm really not sure what they really went through or how did, their mental health was overall. So it's kind of, you have to be sensitive towards these things because you do not know how another person is going to take it. Like you do not know what kind of things they are facing, right?
So, like I said, as a teenager, might just pass off such comments, not
Hmm.
really take it to heart.
Right.
But there are few teenagers who are very sensitive.
Hmm.
What started off in middle school
Yes.
might taunt them even when they are a young adult or
Yeah.
even an adult.
Yes.
Because body shaming happens across ages.
Hmm.
And it's each one's perspective towards it. Some of
Right.
them have awareness towards body shaming, so they know how to deal with these kind of comments, but there are a few who take it very personally.
Right.
So those who may not you know react immediately, but over the years it might build up
Right.
in ending them in future, where, like I said, they might isolate themselves
Hmm.
from social gatherings or self isolate, or they might go through loneliness also,
Right.
right? And in on social media, so if it's happening to them in the real world and even on the social media, then the impact is even more greater. And I think today body shaming is so normalized,
Yeah, exactly.
and nobody really realizes that how it can impact somebody's self-esteem or their mental health. They look at it as just as a common comment that they pass off,
Yeah.
not understanding that it's actually hurting them in return.
Yeah. So moving on to my next question now, how can body shaming affect someone's relationship with, food, exercise, and their overall lifestyle? Like even including the clothes they wear. And
So here, when body shaming happens, is the first thing that they actually look at it in a negative way is the
Hmm.
food, because it's
Yeah.
probably the food that they taken is what ended up them getting comments as fat,
Hmm.
or even if they're not eating,
Yeah.
or they're going through a diet, they might end
Mhm.
up getting a comment, you're way too thin
Oh
for
yeah.
your height or
Yeah.
for your age,
Hmm.
right? And clothing also, this clothing doesn't fit you,
Hmm. Hmm.
or you're too large a size to fit into that clothes. So they
Yeah.
have comments happening in all these areas. So some of them end up overeating,
Hmm. Like stress eating.
stress
Yeah.
eating. So they could be purging, they could end up
Mhm.
binging, or some of them might go through rigorous diet or
Right.
even
Right.
rigorous exercise, depending on the kind of comments that they had to,
Mhm.
endure. And exercise also. So
Right.
rigorous exercise. If somebody has been fat shamed, as you said,
Mhm.
so they might end up taking an exercise plan where they might be going out of the way to make themselves fit into that social,
Hmm.
body type,
Right.
as
Right.
you say, or as you
Hmm.
look at. So these are the different ways how it affects them. So it's
Hmm.
all the three. It's food, clothing, and again, it comes back to anxiety and depression.
Right.
Though they go through all of this, somewhere they go through anxiety, they
Hmm.
go through depression. Maybe if they are into rigorous exercise, they may not see the immediate impact of it.
Yes.
Again, that will
Yeah.
affect their self-esteem,
Hmm.
because they're trying to reach a goal. They're trying to fit into a body shape that the others or the society thinks is
Hmm.
correct
Hmm. Hmm.
for their age, or the job that they are working for.
Right.
So they have different ways of handling each of this, but I'm sure all these three are looked at it from a negative way.
Right.
In fact, they start blaming. Oh,
Hmm.
because I ate excess today, I've put on weight.
Yeah.
And, people are, calling me overweight, or you're not
Yeah.
fitting into that clothes. Or because I'm somebody who's very particular, or I'm somebody who's, following a certain diet,
Hmm.
right? Even then, because I followed the diet and today I'm also having to, get body shamed because of that.
Yeah.
Or even exercising, which
Hmm.
many of them today have made it part and parcel
Yeah.
to keep themselves fit. So
Hmm.
sometimes those who think they want to be fit, again, they also go through body shaming.
Right.
So all these three does
Hmm.
affect them in a negative way only.
But doesn't this have like certain health complications? Because like let's be honest, most of them they want like kind of immediate results.
Yes.
Because like they've been body shamed, they've been fat shamed like so much to the extent like they want results in like maybe 1 month, 2 months, three also if they're really that patient. And doesn't it lead to certain health complications?
It does.
Because
It does.
yeah, because many of them like they go on this very strict diet. They're like, okay, I'll only have one meal a day, and the remaining amount of time I'm just going to exercise. So won't that actually have an
Yes, this is
impact on
like
it?
intermittent fasting.
Right, right.
So it could lead to different other health issues, as you said.
Mm-hmm.
So loss of stamina.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
might not have the energy to do their normal routine work,
Mm-hmm.
right? Maybe it affects their focus as well, because
Right.
food plays so much important role in giving us the nutrients, the vitamins, which they might
Mhm.
lack, because what they could probably get in a 3-course meal, they're trying to get it in a 1-course meal.
Exactly, yeah.
And it might also lead to gastric issues, because it's just 1-course meal the entire day.
Yeah.
And exercise, that's burning their fat. So whatever little fat that they have is already burned. So
Yeah.
again, their loss of energy there.
Mm-hmm.
That is those who are into the exercise, the dieting part of it.
Hmm.
But we are also talking about those who are into binging and purging.
Yes.
What happens is they binge and purge on the junk food.
Yeah.
If somebody is, as I said,
Hmm.
commented that you're way too thin, so if they want to gain weight, they take this way of trying to gain weight.
Mm-hmm.
What happens is it might lead into cardiovascular issues,
Yes.
right? Underweight, it might affect their bone,
Mm-hmm.
right? So there are health issues that they face on either ends of it, whether
Yeah.
they're having to put on the weight or whether they have to
Hmm.
reduce their weight.
Yeah. Now, what are some subtle forms of, body shaming? Like people might not recognize like such a concern, like, they're trolling them. And of course, they give like backhanded comments. I mean, it happens a lot in various family functions, family settings. It happens a lot. So, what are those subtle forms of it?
Right. So as you said, this backhand trolling is so common. Starts off, like I said, within the family. Like
Exactly.
one family function, they probably come and saying, "Oh, that dress doesn't suit you. Looks like you should have brought a larger size or a much smaller
Yeah,
size.
yeah,
It
too
would have
fat
made
in that dress.
look
Yeah.
more, appealing."
Hmm.
And then probably in the next function, they'll say, "Oh, looks like you've put on a weight more on your face or more on your stomach."
Yeah.
Again, there. So when do you fit in?
Hmm. Hmm.
where is that fixed body shape you're to have?
Right.
Right. So these kind of comments are very common. Or this colored cloth doesn't suit you,
Mm-hmm.
right? Or the fashion that you have is not suiting you. Those
Right,
kind of
right.
comments are very common, and
Mm.
in a subtle way. So they put it across in such a way that their message is conveyed.
Mm.
Those of us who are sensitive really do understand. So if
Yeah.
somebody is commenting on your shape, if
Mm-hmm.
somebody is commenting on your body type, right? Or when it is even to do with skin color.
Right.
Body shaming also somewhere includes even your skin type.
Yes.
It's not
Yeah.
necessarily just body type or body shape, it is even the skin. So when somebody is talking about this clothes fits your skin color, or that particular color does not fit your skin type, they're
Yeah.
ending up body shamed there. So these are very subtle ways, again, which is very normal. It's
Exactly.
normalized.
Yeah.
We don't really understand it's actually part of body shaming, but they do normalize. But these are the ways how they subtly would probably body shame
Yeah.
somebody.
And especially like with family, I don't think they're ever really, happy with
Happy.
anyone. Yeah. They always expect more. You give them more, they want less. You give them less, they're never satisfied.
Never
Exactly.
satisfied. You're right.
Like I remember one setting, like recently my cousin, he got engaged actually. And I went to his engagement. I just wore a normal suit, like I think a black blazer and kind of a colored shirt. And they were like, "Oh, this color thing is not suiting for you. You should maybe wear a blue blazer." The wedding, I went with a blue blazer. They're like, "You should have worn a black blazer." I was like, "I wore the same thing the last time." I don't know. Like with them, you can never really satisfy their
Yes.
urges. So moving on to the next question now, how can we acknowledge the genuine health risk that is associated with being overweight, and especially like when we are not crossing into the territory of shaming the person?
So I think there is something called as person-centered approach
Okay.
towards people who are into body shaming. So
Mm-hmm.
trying to make them understand that they don't have to self-blame
Mm-hmm.
for the way they are, accept them the way they are.
Right.
God has created them the way they are,
Hmm.
and they choose to be the way they are.
Right.
One's body shape or body size does not define who they are. It's
Mm-hmm.
more than that.
Right.
So, since we have to work with self-esteem being very low with these kind of people,
Hmm.
we'll have to make them realize that their self-worth is more than their looks
Right.
or
Right.
their appearance.
Mm-hmm.
Next, we work on how to handle with these kind of comments.
Right.
So it's like a boundary that they
Mm-hmm.
have, not allowing these comments to affect them negatively. And even if they have these comments coming their way,
Right.
how to look at it in a positive way, not into ending up having eating disorders,
Mm-hmm.
right? Or into purging or binging, or
Right.
even going through rigorous diet or exercise where they are actually punishing themselves by
Right.
doing
Right.
this. So they need to realize that they don't have to punish themselves in order to fit what others feel is not the right way of looking at
Right.
it. So we can look at the person-centered approach, we can look at self-esteem, then we also have to handle them with compassion. I think that's
Mm-hmm.
where it all starts off with,
Right.
because body shaming is where compassion is not there,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Compassion is a miss there. But if you are going to treat somebody with compassion,
Mm-hmm.
and also the kind of language where it does not stigmatize people,
Mm-hmm.
right? And you have to be more cautious of the kind of words that you use, like
Yeah.
fat, thin,
Mm-hmm.
dark skinned, fair skinned,
Mm-hmm.
right? All of these words are something they should refrain from using when they are talking to somebody in normal,
Right.
irrespective of where they are, whether it
Mm-hmm.
is in a family or whether it is at a work setup,
Right.
right? Even on social media. So when
Mm-hmm.
you're commenting or you're posting something on
Right.
somebody or defining somebody, one has to be very careful of these kind of words not being used
Mm-hmm.
in their normal everyday language. Keep it very neutral.
Mm-hmm.
Have certain words that are neutral, where you don't specifically describe somebody's body shape or body size.
Like even if it like most of these words we hear like when we are children, right? And here's the funny thing, like kids pick up a lot of words like very easily when they're younger, and that kind of sticks with them even like into the age of adulthood. And somewhere it kind of creates a sensation like maybe I'm not enough, and that goes on like it goes on to cause problems in whatever relationships they might have, or whatever performances they might have, like say in work related certain things, or maybe in college like they're going for sports. like it does kind of cause that.
Yes,
Like,
so self-confidence, it comes back to
yeah,
self-confidence.
right.
Like you mentioned, if it started off in school,
Mm-hmm.
when they are an adult, in their job places where, if they have to do a presentation, they
Right.
become very conscious.
Exactly.
They are not confident to go and probably do a presentation because
Mm.
that person thinks, okay, now who's judging me on my
Right.
body
Right.
type or my body shape?
Mm-hmm.
What comments will they pass me the moment they see me standing there and giving a presentation,
Mm-hmm.
right? So these are the thoughts, so stopping them from even actually taking opportunities coming their way,
Mm-hmm.
which will probably help them in personal growth or even in their job growth,
Right.
right? What started off as a teenager, it could carry on, and they are not going to be open about it. It is something that they silently suffer themselves.
Right. Right.
So where because they've been body shamed, that has a impact even in the future.
Right. Right.
People who are body shaming don't realize this,
Mm-hmm.
right? Sometimes it even ends up going into suicidal tendencies also,
Right. Right. Right.
because this is somebody who constantly goes through body shaming,
Mm-hmm.
irrespective of where they are or what background they are coming from. So
Right.
this is what probably happens.
Yeah, and I mean, as a law student myself, like I've read a lot of cases. Like it's almost every day on a daily basis. Like kids are killing themselves and they're jumping off buildings and all of that because somewhere in the family or their close immediate friends they said something hurtful to them, and most of the time it's just like either they're calling them fat or they're calling like you're not fit for this, you're not fit for that, your skin complexion is too dark. I mean, rarely the light cases come, but there are cases where, somebody's saying you're too light, you're too fair skinned, and certain things like they get to these people. And of course, like many of them do not know the various help centers to go to. And there are people who understand their pain. There are people there to counsel them on this. And they feel like the only option is to, end it all. That's a sad part,
Yes,
actually.
it is
Yeah.
actually. So here, some of them, if it's teenagers who are going through body shaming,
Right, right.
so as you said, they don't know whom to approach.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, School students, they don't know if they're okay to talk to a counselor about body shaming, because body
Right.
shaming may not look as something big like any
Mm-hmm.
of the other teenage issues, but
Right.
there are a percentage of teens who do go through body shaming.
Exactly.
Because they're unable to get the help, some of them end up into self-harm.
Mm-hmm.
I remember one student in the family was
Mm-hmm.
body shamed for the looks, where
Okay.
the family member constantly went on saying, "You're not looking good, your nose is not, in the correct shape."
Mm-hmm.
And the student didn't know how to handle it
Mm-hmm.
and ended up self harming. So
Right.
that student thought that, okay, self harm is my way of coping with body shaming.
Mm-hmm.
So that is how this student looked at it, right?
Right.
So getting the right kind of help at the right time is very
Very
important.
important. Yeah.
And not many of them have the awareness that
Mm.
body shaming also is something many people have to undergo. It's
Right.
probably not highlighted,
Hmm.
but like I said, body shaming is happening everywhere.
Right.
It
Right.
hasn't spared even the famous personalities.
Yeah. Yeah.
They too are going through body shaming, and they have their ways of handling it,
Mm-hmm.
which not all of them will be able to.
Right.
Right. And I think we need to create awareness
Mm-hmm.
more about, how we need to look at commenting, whether
Exactly.
it is in a personal conversation or whether it is on social media, refraining ourselves, from using certain terms that
Yeah.
can actually hurt somebody.
Yeah, that's true. Moving on to my last question now, what can we as individuals do to, promote body positivity without ignoring the personal boundaries?
So, self acceptance.
Right. Right.
So, one needs to know what their worth is.
Mm-hmm.
Is their worth based on their appearance, or is their worth based on their deeds? Or is
Right.
it based on their potentials,
Mm-hmm.
or the character that they have?
Right.
So self acceptance, irrespective of what negative comments they have
Mm.
got so far, they need to accept the way they are.
Right.
Uh, and if they really need to bring about some change,
Mm-hmm.
let them look at it from a positive outlook, not
Right.
from a negative outlook. For example, not go through a rigorous diet or rigorous exercise,
Right.
but take it slow.
Mm-hmm.
Let them have their own goals, but let them not push themselves beyond their
Capability. Yeah.
capacity and reach that goal. So let them have a positive approach. So self acceptance is one.
Right.
And next is having open and respectful communication.
Okay.
I think that's also very, very important today, because there is disrespect. I think
Yeah, and a
it's
lot
very
of
easy for
exactly.
everybody to get body shamed. So let's encourage open and respectful communication. Yes, you find somebody who's overweight or who's underweight, but there is a respectful way to communicate that to them. If you communicate to them in such a way, I'm sure they will also accept it, right? Instead of getting hurt. If your concern is really for their appearance, right? So respectful and open communication. One is inclusive environment. What happens in body shaming is you keep these kind of people who probably don't fit into that a fit body type away, separate.
Yes.
Include them. Let's accept people the way they are. Nobody is fit. You can't fit anybody into one category and say this is how they're expected to look.
Exactly.
Right? Let's build an inclusive environment. Let's openly accept everybody the way they are. Let's not look at them as okay, overweight, underweight, right, or based on their skin color. I think that is something we need to do. One, and then we need to model positive behavior. That means I need to model that positive behavior so that it's like a chain.
Right.
You will learn that from me, and you also will practice positive behavior, and that can pass on to the others. So these kind of people don't feel conscious in a social setup, right? So we can model positive behavior. Then like I said, don't have appearance based comments. Let's refrain ourselves from having appearance based comments. Okay, so we're not making the other person feel uncomfortable. And then I think lastly is we all have to have certain limitations of what our conversations are about. Let's not our conversation turn into body shaming. If the conversation is turning or deviating towards body shaming, I think we need to limit it there and not allow that to happen.
Right. And with that being said, that officially brings us to the end of today's show. A huge thank you to Miss Nancy for joining today's show.
For inviting me.
Thank you. Remember, guys, we air on Mondays at 4:30 p.m. That's it. If you guys want to contribute to our topics, have anything to say, or just want to tell us what an amazing job we are doing, you can reach out to us at 6364252164. And a huge thank you to our listeners for tuning into this edition of the Reality Bang, the weekly dose of youth power brought to you by FEBA Online. This is RJ Yohann. Hope you have an amazing